Does my Biotin Pro Clinical really erase wrinkles and grow hair back in as little as 3 weeks? I'm going to show you the research on the ingredients, put them in perspective, and the before and after pictures, and share with you information that's going to help save you money if you want to try my Biotin for yourself. Now, before we go any further, one thing that you need to know is that there are two versions of my Biotin. There is the regular My Biotin, which you're looking at on the left side of the screen, and then there is My Biotin Pro Clinical, which you see on the right side of the screen. So what is the difference? Well, both versions contain a unique and patented form of biotin that's called magnesium biotinate. And also, both versions also contain another compound that is called inositol stabilized arginine silicate, which contains arginine, some silicon, and inositol, which is a type of sugar. These two ingredients form what the Purity Products Company calls MB40X. The difference between my Biotin and my Biotin Pro Clinical is that the Pro Clinical version also has 4 milligrams of astaxanthin, which is supposed to help with skin moisture and wrinkle reduction. Also, one sort of nerdy thing I would like to bring up here is that MB40X, it's a made-up word. It's a marketing word. MB stands for My Biotin, and 40X refers to some research showing that this form of biotin that they use is about 40 times more biosoluble in the body than regular biotin. The real name of MB40X is Lustriva. Here is the My Biotin Certificate of Analysis, which you can see on the company's website. And as you can see, MB40X is nowhere to be seen on this certificate analysis. Rather, what we do see is the real name of the compound, Lustriva. Now, no matter what name you call it by, it's the same thing. It's a combination of magnesium biotinate and inositol stabilized arginine silicate. Why is this important? Well, because there is some research on these compounds. So we have this paper, for instance, showing that inositol arginine silicate complex improves hair and nails in rats. Applying this compound topically also appears to speed up wound healing, again in rats. So all that's great for laboratory animals, but what about people? So in this paper, men were given 1,500 milligrams of the inositol stabilized arginine silicate complex for up to 2 weeks. And the researchers noted that these men appeared to think faster when performing complex mental tasks. We also have this paper involving video gamers who were given 1,600 milligrams of this complex, who also appeared to show improvements in memory and reaction time, which all this research makes me wonder if this stuff might eventually start showing up in pre-workout drinks and sports performance supplements. But that's a discussion for another day. Now let's move on and talk about this study, which is the My Biotin clinical study that's alluded to in the My Biotin TV commercial, a randomized double-blind evaluation of a novel biotin silicon ingredient complex on hair and skin in healthy women. Now we're getting somewhere. So 88 women are split up into 3 different groups. There is a high dose group where they're taking 146.5 milligrams of the MB40X compound and 10 milligrams of biotin. There's also a low dose group which received the same dosage of MB40X. However, they just took 3 milligrams of biotin. And then finally, there's a placebo group, which in theory shouldn't do anything. Oh, and by the way here, in this investigation, everybody was a woman and 95% of them were Caucasian. What I liked about this investigation is that all the women agreed to a lot of contingencies here. They agreed to keep their shampoo frequency the same. They said they would not use biotin supplements or other hair growth supplements, including Viviscal or Nutrafol. And they also said that they would refrain from using lotions and makeup on their face until after the study was over. So what happened in this 3-month-long investigation? Well, the researchers noted that both the low dose and the high dose group were said to show significant improvements in facial wrinkles, while the placebo group saw no such improvements. They go on to say that the high dose group, the one getting the 10 milligrams of biotin, also showed improvements in the texture of the skin, and the skin had less roughness after just 21 days. But here's where I spot a typo, because they also say that this benefit of less roughness and better skin texture didn't happen in the high dose group. I'm assuming they meant to say the low dose group, but I can't be sure here. This study also appears to show that the MyBiotin supplement is not better at improving nail growth or the strength of nails either. But on the plus side, the MyBiotin ingredients did improve the amount of terminal hairs on the head. Terminal hairs are the thicker hairs that are mostly coveted by people. And this occurred 3 weeks into the study, so that's good too. However, they also say that both the low dose group and the high dose group were equally effective compared to the placebo group. So it didn't matter whether they took 3 milligrams of biotin or 10 milligrams of biotin, both dosages appeared to work the same. So I want to pause for a second and point something out. If you saw the MyBiotin TV commercial, they kept talking about the benefits of MyBiotin Pro Clinical. However, in the paper I just summarized, they were not using the Pro Clinical version. Rather, they were just using the regular MyBiotin. Remember, MyBiotin Pro Clinical contains astaxanthin. Astaxanthin is not even mentioned in the paper. This means if you're looking to try MyBiotin, you can save money by just using the regular version and not the Pro Clinical version of MyBiotin. Okay, so a picture is worth 1,000 words. So what does this actually look like? So here we see a picture showing the anti-wrinkle effects of MyBiotin. On the left, we see the skin of one of the people at the start of the study. And then on the right, we see that same swatch of skin about 3 months after taking MyBiotin supplements. So there's definitely a difference in how deep the wrinkles appear. But I want you to notice that these pictures were taken with a high-powered microscope looking at skin at the micrometer level. A micrometer, if you're not familiar with that term, is 1/1,000,000th of a meter. This makes me wonder if you could see differences in wrinkles after 3 months with your naked eyes. Again, this is 3 months later, and they're using a microscope to show the differences. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind if you're going to try this in terms of the wrinkle reduction ability of MyBiotin. But what about hair? So here's the only picture they show in the study. So on the left of the screen, you see this individual at the beginning of the investigation, and we see this same person 3 months later on the right side of the screen. So I can definitely see a difference here. The part at the center of the head is less pronounced on the right side versus what it was at the beginning of the study. I can also see some hairs dangling down at the front of the forehead on the right side of the screen. I'm not seeing that on the left side of the screen. I would like it if they had taken better pictures of the forehead, because I can see some frown lines, some wrinkles on the forehead on the left side. I can't see them on the right, but that I don't know if that's because the wrinkles went away or just because of the angle of the picture. It would have been really nice if they took a better picture after the study was over. But it is what it is. So this is the only study that is shown in this investigation, and I will leave it to you to decide if you believe this is a significant difference given the price of the dietary supplement and the length of time that you'll have to take it. So what are my pros and cons of MyBiotin? Here's how I score it. Yeah, there is one clinical study on the ingredients in MyBiotin that do appear to show that it's living up to some of the claims that are being made in the TV commercial. Purity Products is the company that markets this dietary supplement. It's a well-known company. It's been around for decades. I like that. It's also got a very high Better Business Bureau rating. It's vegan. It doesn't have any genetically modified ingredients. It's gluten-free, organic. Those are all great. MyBiotin also has the NSF certification. That's a third-party independent company that makes sure that supplements contain what they are said to contain. So I'm very pleased to see that certification. I like the fact you can call the company on the phone and you can speak to a human being if you have questions. As for the cons, most of the research I did see on the ingredients were on laboratory animals, so I am looking forward to more human research moving forward. It is halal certified, which is good for the Muslims watching this video. However, it is not kosher. I do think my Biotin and my Biotin Pro Clinical are pretty expensive. You can expect to pay several $100s over the course of a year if you're going to take this supplement long term. Generally, I'm not a fan of bold claims being made about supplements. However, the clinical study does appear to back up those bold claims. Again, I will point out, it is just one clinical study. And also, I don't think you're going to see a difference that you can see with your own eyes in 3 weeks. I think that is too much to ask of any dietary supplement. I think if you are going to try my Biotin Pro Clinical, then it's going to take at least 3 months to see differences, and I think longer than 3 months, depending on the depth of the wrinkles that someone might have and the amount of hair loss they have as well. So what do I think about all this? Well, I'm really happy that the company that makes the ingredients in my Biotin has gone the extra step to fund a clinical study. That alone puts it ahead of a lot of other dietary supplements I've reviewed over the years. However, I would like to see a couple more studies conducted on these compounds to see if they truly do work, because that's actually how science works. Generally, I am skeptical of biotin as a hair growth supplement. I know it's popular, but the research is iffy in my opinion. But however, this research does add to that conversation, and I'm looking forward to more studies. So now that you've seen the science, you tell me, did my biotin work for you? Leave a comment below and let me know.